Chapter 5 The Guest. Nasruddin is a legendary character who appears in many Central Asian folk tales. He solves life's problems with a mixture of foolishness, wit, and wisdom. Mullah Nasruddin was a wise man. When he spoke, people listened, and so he chose his words and actions as carefully as kings choose their generals. One day, a rich man invited the mullah to a feast at his house. "I would be honored, Mullah Sahib," said he, "if you would grace us with your presence tomorrow night." "I will come," agreed Mullah Nasruddin. "Tomorrow night." The following night, the mullah threw on his shabbiest and most comfortable clothes. "It is a bit chilly," he said, and added an old black coat. The edges of its shirt sleeves were frayed. The holes in its elbows were patched with swatches torn from old flour sacks. On his feet, Mullah Nasruddin slipped a pair of ragged sandals. When darkness fell, he arrived at the rich man's doorstep. A servant opened the door. "What do you want, old man?" the servant demanded. "Your master has invited me to his feast," said the mullah. The servant peered suspiciously at him. "Wait here," he said. "I will be back in a moment." The servant went in, his whispers carried to the door. "An old beggar man, oh my master, says he is your guest." The rich man came to the courtyard to take a look. Seeing the old man in his ragged clothes, he waved a hand to the servant, then went back to join his elegant guests. The servant returned to the door. "My master does not know you," he said. "He invited me to his feast," insisted the mullah. The servant laughed.
"Nonsense! Invited you? A ragged old beggar? My master's friends are noble men and kings. Be off before I take a stick to you."
So Mullah Nasruddin went home. He changed into his finest silk garments. He put his best cap on his head and added a handsome high-collared coat. He sprinkled rose water on his face and hands. He combed his beard. Smiling to himself, he made his way back to the rich man's house and knocked at the door. Once again, the servant opened it. Once again, the mullah said, "Your master has invited me to his feast." This time, the servant bowed respectfully and ushered him in. "Welcome, welcome, Mullah Sahib." And the rich man himself showed the mullah to his special seat at the feast. "At last, Mullah Sahib," said the guests, "we have all been waiting for you." The food arrived. "Serve Mullah Nasruddin first," said the rich man. The mullah smiled at everyone. Then he began to get busy with his food. But he did not eat. "Hey, hey!" cried the guests. "Mullah Sahib, what are you doing?" cried the rich man. For Mullah Nasruddin had begun to spoon the soup over his best cap. He crumbled the bread and sprinkled the crumbs over the shoulders of his handsome high-collared coat. He took apart the shish kebab and fed it lovingly to his sleeves. The mullah replied, "When I arrived in rags, you turned me away. Now that I am dressed in finery, you treat me with honor. Clearly, it is my clothes you are welcoming, and not me. So it is only fitting that they should eat this delightful food you have prepared for them." The rich man hung his head in shame. He said, "Mullah Sahib, forgive me. I was blind. I saw only your clothes and could not recognize the wearer. I will never again judge people by how they look or by the clothes they wear." And in truth, he never did.